Hello and welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be making the candy apple soap. I'm going to change it up a little bit. I do have a new fragrance oil that I'm using for this project. Usually I had Applejack fragrance oil, but it's not anymore available in Europe, the one that I wanted. So now this one I'm using, it's called Frosted Candy Apple, and it smells amazing, I have to say. It's the first time I'm using it. I don't know whether it's discoloring and how it, how it will react. So it's going to be an experiment. And I started with making some embeds. These are the round mini molds from Brambleberry, but you can get them like everywhere. Every soap supplier carries this one. So you can see that these are little soap balls and they are mold amazing. Pretty easy to use. So I made a couple of those, and I wanted it to be like this candy apple type of color, and I'm using Fiery Fusion from You Make It Up. It's a fabulous color. I absolutely love it. It's this candy apple, for those who know, is also a guitar color like they have for bass guitars in Fender. And I have one that is called Candy Apple, so it's really cool, and that's exactly the color I was aiming for. Okay, so oils and lye are at about 40 degrees Celsius, so I'm going to add the lye water to the oils and then mix to emulsion. So that's good enough, and I'm going to change the design a little bit this time than my usual candy apple soap. So I'm going to split off the half of the batch approximately. I'm just gonna see. Oh, it should be about this one, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to start with the red and see how much I need. So this is this Fiery Fusion from You Make It Up, which is really a nice color. And let's see how it is, if I need more. I basically want it to be a little bit the same color as the embeds you can see here, and I think it's quite cool. So we're gonna leave it to that. Before I move on to the titanium dioxide, I'm just gonna move this one over here because titanium dioxide has the tendency of thickening up the soap batter pretty quick. So I'm going to be adding the half of the fragrance oil in here and then pour it into the mold to make the first layer. I want to make a red layer at the bottom and texture it a little bit. So we can add, this smells really amazing. What was I saying? So we have a little bit of textured bottom, and then on top of it comes the white part. I want to keep it like a little bit simpler because I want to add all this round mini ball on the top. So that's the Brambleberry 5-pound mold here. I hope you can see. And I'm just gonna pour the soap in, just like so. And I'm not gonna be using any more for the top, so I'm just gonna scrape everything out. I also love this Applejack fragrance oil, but it's not available anymore, as I said. Then this candy apple, I had the idea to make such a soap. You know, we have in these areas here, or in Basel at least. Basel is a very special city, it's small, but you have many cultural activities and so forth. So there is a fair, like an autumnal fair, where you can buy these candy apples. And I want to see if I can find something so I can show you. So we're gonna wait for this one to set a little bit, and then we're gonna come back and see how this works out. Okay, so the soap is setting. I want to see if I can make like a cool texture in it just by using a spoon. Doesn't need to be perfect because you won't see it, but a little bit of texture is always nice. So the soap is not straight, if you know what I mean. So I hope that this will really show up in the soap and not just be like that it looks like a disorder that was done because somebody was not careful enough or something. Okay, so I'm scraping away these edges here so it doesn't touch the white soap. Okay, that looks like the soap is really hard. So we are going to mix up the white part of the soap. Move this to the side here. Maybe we have this part over here. We're going to be adding titanium dioxide mixed with water. Gonna be adding more. A bit more. Okay. That's okay, doesn't need to be completely white, and this will turn a little bit whiter after curing or during the curing time. Just want to make sure that the sides are well incorporated, because you never know with titanium dioxide, it just needs an extra, extra mixing. So that looks pretty good. Okay, so we're gonna add the fragrance oil, the remaining, hoping that it will not accelerate too much. this one I just mix in by hand. Okay, so now let's see if this red one is hard enough to hold the white part. But I really think it should. Let's spray. Hope you can see well what I'm doing here. I'm holding the spatula over the soap just to, you know, make the break, you know, have it more balanced out. Okay, so now for the top, I just want it, first I shake it a little bit and then I want the top to be a bit thicker so I can make some little shapes and then I can stick the gum balls in it. Okay, so let's see how we can put this remaining on top of this soap. And as I said, I don't want this to be like the regular candy apple soap or any other regular soap that I'm making with piping or like a chopstick swirled top, but something more like creamy. Can also look like a frosting but more loose, you understand what I mean? Not these exact ridges, because I think the gum balls are going to be the main character of the show. I like to have all the soap scraped out, you know, also because of the dishwashing. And also one tip I want to say for my dishwashing, I don't do it once I soaped, but I always do it the day after. I leave it just like it is. I leave the bucket and the mixer and everything like for the next day. And then it's soap, so you can basically put it in your sink, soak it in water, you know, and you don't need to go through the pain of trying to deal with all these, you know, things, and so whatever. Okay, so let's see now with this top here how we can texture it. I just want to spread it a little bit more into the edges. I don't want to have like a precise type of texture here. More like a cloudy looking creamy top. Okay. Now I add the soap balls. And to do that, I'm going to remove my gloves. But please, if you don't feel confident to do so, I just do it because I don't have a good control over the soap balls or the embeds, whatever embeds it is. So I prefer to, you know, remove it, but I have to be really careful not to touch the soap, because this will have not such a good reaction on your skin. Okay, so I'm not going to place it in a specific order. but just randomly here and there. And then once the soap is cut, you know, it will be random whether or not you will have, how many you will have on top and what order it will be. I just think it's cool, and it really looks like, it reminds me of the candy apples you can get at the fair. I really need to see if I can find a picture. They add all kinds of things to it, like, for example, some almonds or some sugar sprinkles. But you know, like when you're making soap, you always need to improvise. If something doesn't work out, well, you do something else and then it will be okay, because at the end of the day it is just soap, and it will be able to wash you whether it's pretty or not. But of course it's nicer to have a pretty soap than an ugly one. Very philosophic thought. It's really not the usual type of top that I'm doing, but I think it's different and it's a bit childish, and therefore why not, yeah? So now, because it's a lot of fun, I would like to add some glitter. This is bio glitter from Nurture Soap, and it just gives these apples here like a touch of being really like frosted, or you know, some added sugar to it, or whatever you want to call it. So I'm gonna generously sprinkle it, and then I'm going to be adding 99% rubbing alcohol to prevent soda ash and to have the glitter really seal in. So the balls are holding. I'm gonna give you a close-up. I think that the color turned out really exactly like I wanted it to be. I hope that the same will be the case for the bottom color inside the soap, and this we're gonna see in just a second. Alright, it's the next day and it looks like our candy apple soap is ready to unmold. This is the brambleberry 5-pound mold with slidable bottom. Excuse me if the camera is going to shake now a little bit. It's a very practical mold. You can just remove the wooden part, and then the silicone is unmolding perfectly. So the color looks nice. Now let's see if we can get it out of the mold without any complications, and it looks good so far. I'm gonna place it on the soap cutter. It's a multi-bar cutter that I ordered in Germany. And now let's see if it is, strong enough to break through the soap embeds, the glycerin soap embeds. It's sometimes not so easy, so let's find out. It smells amazing. We don't need to be careful about where we cut, because there is no exact pattern that we need for these little soap balls here. So, okay, I'm really excited to find out how the inside looks. Okay, not so bad, huh? This is what I wanted. I wanted to have like a line that is obviously not straight. And then you have these cute soap balls on top. Oh, it really smells like an apple type of candy, you know. This one is really nice too, this line here. Alright, let's do the next one. I'm just gonna clean the wires a little bit so we don't drag it through the next soap if it's not necessary. And here is important to give just an even pressure, not go back, you know, just cut through. And this was quite okay. I think it's always good when you play around with your design a little bit, try out new things. Maybe you can see things that you can improve for next time. And I think this white here is gonna turn whiter, and I can't really see glycerin rivers, so that's good. Although we added like a lot of titanium dioxide. This is like a sample size here. Okay, so let's stamp these. So I have the soap stamp here, it's an acrylic soap stamp. I have a rubber mallet, and what you can do if you want is take a sample size soap so you can see whether or not you like the stamping. Just give it a light tap, like so, and then you wiggle it out, and there you have your stamped soap.